Hello guys, Jerry speaking. Welcome to LJPCBM episode 1775. Today back to the OddGamer episode number 93. Alone in the Dark, featuring the crossover between OddGamer and of course Fiction Edition. Now, I've never heard this YouTube channel before, so this is something I will add to this LJPCBM series. So let's begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Wow. It's haunted, wow.
Thank you.
I gotta turn this down a little bit, hang on. Wow.
Hello.
What's that?
Thank you.
Who is this guy? Continue on.
Hello, internet viewers. I'm the Fairly Odd Gamer. It's getting close to Halloween, and you know what that means.
Wow. Wow.
The Scary Odd Gamer is back again.
Wow.
Cue the intro.
Wow. Is that Lower Space? Wow.
You open this console with the key of the controller.
Okay, wow.
Beyond it is a video game. A game with music.
Wow, Twilight Zone. Continue on.
A game with graphics.
Wow.
And a game to play. You find yourself in October where games start to become more terrifying. You just now encountered the Scary Odd Gamer.
Wow. Glow in the dark. Wow. Special card, this is Talent Science. Special guest reviewer, Fiction Edition. Move on, next.
For this year, I'll be reviewing a couple of games that recently got a remastered version, or in the case of this video, a reimagined version. So with that said, let's talk about a classic game from 1992 considered as the first 3D survival horror game, Alone in the Dark.
Wow.
But you won't be alone in the dark, because I'm here too. My name is Ash, and I'm from Fiction Addiction.
Wait. Close caption time. Wait, who is his name? My name's Ash. Okay. Okay, never heard of this guy. Continue on.
I'm also not in the dark, but whatever.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, I'm fine.
Same to you. So what's this about dark, but whatever.
Nice to meet you, Ash.
Same to you. So what's this about this being the first 3D survival horror game? Isn't it just the first survival horror game, period?
Well, not quite.
To be technical, that honor goes with an NES game from Japan, or rather the Famicom, called Sweet Home. Even though it does have elements of RPG, it was still revolutionary at the time.
A game based on the movie Sweet Home released the same year, let's not forget.
However, it
He's not British that time. Wow.
wasn't until 3 years later that a guy named Bruno Bonnell conceptualized the idea of turning the role-playing game Call of Cthulhu, inspired by the mythos of H.P. Lovecraft, into a survival horror video game, which caught the attention of programmer Frederick Reinal, who also happens to be a longtime fan of horror directors Dario Argento and George Romero. And
Wait. What do you say? A programmer, Frederick Ryle, okay.
happens to be a longtime fan of horror directors Dario Argento and George Romero.
Okay, makes sense. Continue on.
And finally, in that very year, Alone in the Dark was born. Initially released on MS-DOS and even early Mac computers, the game would then be ported to the 3DO. And fun fact, there was also going to be a port of the game on the Atari Jaguar CD and even the Sega 32X.
Which I did watch AVGN episode of Jaguar CD, and I'm like, wow. Continue on.
Neither of them got released, and knowing how poorly received those consoles were, it's probably for the best.
Wow.
And besides, the game was right at home on the 3DO, which hosted other classic horror games such as Corpse Killer.
Wow. Ooh! Okay! I'm surprised that was coming.
Never mind.
Now, I would review the game on my laptop, which, by the way, you can now play on Steam as well as GOG, but there's only one small problem. I have a Mac and not a PC.
I don't have a PC either. I'm with you, Lucas, but that's just me. Continue on.
Not yet, anyway.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not yet anyway, yeah. What if? Continue on.
I'll be looking at the game on a console I've never talked about until now, the 3DO.
Huh. Okay. I never have the 3DO, but Panasonic 3DO. Let me search that right now. Even though I know it's AVGN's thing, but it was years ago. Remix told me about this. I'm like, wow. This is odd, you know? What game is on here? Let me see. It's the 3DO games. Well, besides one of the dog and two, you know. I know. Whoa, wow. Is there a Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy game on here? Oh, they have a family view. Okay, makes sense. Where's Wheel of Jeopardy? You know. I mean, I am a huge Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune fan, but no. Don't mean they don't have it. No. Jurassic Park. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway. Okay. They don't have any. Oh, plumbers do wear ties? Okay, it makes sense. Okay. Yeah, they have that. Because I saw an AVGN episode at that point in the story. I'm sorry that we're being too fast in this episode, but it was it's a Halloween episode. But it makes more sense. Where is that? Oh, they have the non-game software and conventions. Where's Jeopardy? Where are you? They don't have Jeopardy on here? Man, the show's been very harsh in this one. Well, that's why I've been scrapped. Oh, they don't have Jeopardy. Okay. Oh, and then arcade games like Beavis and Butthead. That's good. You know, and things like that. And I saw the AVGN episode go. That's hilarious. And let's continue on.
And boy, oh boy, how I waited this long to cover a game on this console.
Wow.
I initially bought a 3DO a couple years ago at MomoCon Atlanta.
I had a VCR years ago. Now, I never had a 3DO, and not a MomoCon, to be honest. I had to get this 3DO so badly. Continue on.
Then the console and tested out with the Need for Speed, and while it did turn on, the console was unable to read the disc. Not a good thing. However, I did find a top-load version of the console, the FZ10, on eBay for 330 Canadian dollars.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
But American money is, well, figure that out for yourself.
Hold on. What do you say? How much is it in the United States dollars? Hang on. 330 in US dollars. Canadian. $235.48. Wow. Okay. That's how much that costs. Continue on.
Canadian dollars, which in American money is, well, figure that out for yourself. I went to contest the console with the Need for Speed, and lo and behold, it actually worked.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a 3DO now, so it's only a matter of time before somebody asks me to cover Plumbers Don't Wear Ties.
Which I plan to react to it. I'm not the ABGN version. So messed up, but I'll react to the Very OddGamer episode at that time range. But anyway, let's continue on.
Or the Need for Speed.
Meanwhile, I just paid $5 on GOG.com and got the whole...
Wait, what did you say? $5 at GOG.com? Never heard of it.
Alone in the Dark trilogy. Yeah, score 1 for me.
And I do actually mean that. I mean, it might look kind of goofy nowadays, but this was some really impressive stuff in 1992. In fact, it was so impressive that it became the direct inspiration for a couple of games you may have heard of, called Resident Evil and Silent Hill.
PlayStation stuff, okay, makes sense. It's an M-rated game? Wow. If you want to just remix M-rated games for you, continue on.
After inspiring numerous more famous games since then, Does the original Alone in the Dark still hold up? Let's find out.
Okay.
We see the game was published by Interplay, the same company behind the Baldur's Gate and Clayfire series, and developed by Infogrames, a company that would later be known for the Roller Coaster Tycoon series among.
Which is good, because I wonder if Instagram does it. Let me see. I hate her a lot, but let me scroll up a little bit, please. Thank you. Oh wait, really? Casper? Okay. Go back. Well, where in the play? Same company, duh. Let me check in the play. Okay, makes sense. Oh, it's an iMotion game. Okay. No, let's move on. It's Hari. Okay, then come on, back then. Okay, whatever. Airplay. Infogrames. Okay. I don't know why this shouldn't show that. Why? Where's... go up! Go up, please. Thank you. What happened? Where's Airplay Productions? Okay. I don't see that, no. It says Airplay Entertainment, not Airplay Productions now. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, studios, and it goes up to games. Quit the games right now, thank you. It brought you these video games. Not just Alone in the Dark, but also... Okay, I'm sorry being too off topic what I did last episode, but anyway. Not to what he said earlier, but wow. Okay, move on. Next.
The game was also produced by iMotion, and fun fact, that same company would make Call of Cthulhu: Shadow of the Comet for computers a year later.
Wow.
It didn't choose who to play as for the game. Either Emily Harwood, the niece of Jeremy Harwood, and Edward Carnby, a private investigator. For this video, I'll be choosing Edward Carnby. It turns out that Jeremy Harwood had committed suicide while spending the night at the mansion called Derceto, and either Emily or Edward, depending on who you've chosen, has to figure out why Derceto has become haunted.
Let's figure out both clues. Next, continue on.
A frog. As Carnby makes
From the frog. Creepy.
figure out why Derceto has become haunted. But first, a frog.
Kermit!
Carnby makes his way to the mansion. By the way, the image of those hands were really creepy. We then get a glimpse of what Carnby looks like in-game. That's 1992 graphics for you.
And then he walks. And he walks. And he walks some more. All the way up to the spooky attic. Here you get a brief moment to look around and try out the controls, until suddenly you're beset by the most terrifying monster known to man. A raw chicken.
Wow. Oh, wow. It's like a hopping chicken. It's more like it. Continue on.
Whew. Talk about fast food delivery. They didn't even bother cooking the darn thing.
It's like, can I order a fast food restaurant food? Like, the hopping chicken? That's it. That'll be, or, more like this. Anyway. Can I have a hopping, welcome to McDonald's, can I take your order? Well, yes, I like the hopping chicken sandwich for extra meal, please. That's it. And anyway, that'll be $5, okay? Take it out the window. That makes more sense. Continue on.
Reminds me.
What is that?
They didn't even bother cooking the darn thing.
Which reminds me.
Wow. What's going on?
Hey, where's my pizza?
What?
Thank you.
And it's here.
Where's my pizza? And it's why like that? Wow. Just wow.
Hey, where's my pizza? Thank you.
Okay. Move on, next.
And it's here where you must figure out whether to fight it with your bare hands or shoot with a gun. assuming you can find it in time. But even if you defeat the zombie chicken, a zombie then shows up. But it's fine.
Okay, makes sense.
Assuming you can find it in time. But even if you defeat the zombie chicken, a zombie then shows up. But
wait. First course, you have Paul Gerard. Okay, continue on.
Really required at this point? Well, no. In Emily's story, there's a subliminal message in the game telling you to push the cabinet in front of the window to prevent said chicken from getting inside. Then you could also push the chest by the trap door to prevent the zombie from getting in as well. And how do you do that, you may ask? In the items menu, you can have commonly perform actions like fighting, pushing objects, and searching for any new objects, like a ladder hidden behind the piano. Control-wise...
Yeah, do. Continue on, anyway.
Objects, and searching for any new objects, like a ladder hidden behind the piano. Control-wise, it's pretty iffy. Well, in the 3DO version. You can move with a control pad, but you mainly move forward by pressing up. You can also move backwards by pressing down, and pressing left and right lets you turn left and right. But to make things easier, holding C allows your character to run, which you'll be doing for almost the entire game. Primitive tank controls, everyone. Finally, holding the A button lets you almost the entire game. Primitive tank controls, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, continue on.
Finally, holding the A button lets you perform the action you chose in the items menu.
Yeah,
Oh god, yeah. Like some regular god, okay. First course, you have Ash plays. Continue on.
same tank controls in the PC version as well. For the most part, it works, even if it is a little slow. It's really more the item menu and combat that's weird and cumbersome.
When it comes to physical attacks, kicking is your best option. And though you can shoot at enemies with a gun, you just need to be lucky if it hits your target. Look, I know it's 1992, but wouldn't it be possible to add some sort of targeting system? You know, to make your shots more accurate?
No, Conby don't need no guns or fancy schmancy targeting systems. He's a real man's man. He was kicking zombies in the face decades before Leon Kennedy learned how to wipe.
Also,
I can wipe his own ass. Excuse my language, but it's true. Continue on.
best to save your progress throughout the game. Because there's no autosave feature, you would have to save the game manually, which isn't really a bad thing per se. While the PC version has around 6 save slots, the 3DO only has 3. And even though the game looks the same, the big difference between the versions is the text. Unlike the PC version, which has a
Again, first Cortesia for Ash plays. Continue on.
The big difference between the versions is the text. Unlike the PC version, which has a fancy old-timey style text, the 3DO has a generic typewriter font. Was the 3DO incapable of using that kind of font from the PC version? That alone would have made it much better.
Now, you really should make sure to read any notes and books you find, because most of them do provide important clues to help you progress through the game. Besides, you really don't want to miss out on this amazing voice acting.
They are coming! I have freed hellish forces, and now the price must be paid. Their cetera is the prey of evil. The sun has set. They will find my body, but will not have my soul. I can imagine the master's fury and the terror in the hearts of his slaves. I hear their footsteps. Some may understand what I have done. May God forgive me. Farewell, Jeremy Hartwood.
Okay. I just don't know what happened here, but the whole thing that happens to the whole Jim Simon Meatloaf thing, but you know, it can make sense, but that's just me. Let's continue on.
Hey, if you don't want them cluttering up your inventory when you're done with them, you could just throw them on the floor like a petulant child.
And you want to know the main reason why it's best to save your game? This game has death traps. Oh boy,
Ooh.
Does it ever have death traps.
Game over. Yeah, exactly.
And one of them involves this wooden floor. If you try to go out the same way you came into the attic...
Oh my god! For the movie Troll 2. Anyway, let's continue on.
That's why. Though why the floor didn't break down in the opening cutscene completely eludes me, but whatever. And you don't want to die in this game, because when you do, guess what? Cthulhu is unleashed! He destroys reality.
Wait, what did it say? When he dies, the truly is unleashed. Okay, makes sense. Continue on.
And it's game over. Oh, I'm sorry. The end.
Wow.
But, you know, no pressure.
Well, that was pretty short. Anyway,
Nah, just kidding. There's more to it than that. Whenever an enemy dies, it'll turn into a bubble-like explosion. Is that what smoke looked like back then? But if you do get...
Let's continue on.
by an enemy, a zombie then grabs your dead corpse into the underworld of the mansion, and then lays that body under a sacrificial altar for...
Oh, wow. Wow, it's dead body. Okay, move on.
Corpse into the underworld of the mansion, and then lays that body under a sacrificial altar for Cthulhu itself.
Wow.
Thankfully, there are ways to heal yourself in the game by means of drinking out of a flask from a first aid kit or eating biscuits. And to kill those winged monsters, you have to place small mirrors in front of them. Don't really know why, but there you go.
Yeah, whatever. Continue on.
Just not to touch any of the inhabitants, because if you do, they become giant molecules that sound like a didgeridoo as they chase after you.
Yeah, like, Chase, like, ah, it's boys! It's boys! Anyway, continue on. Like, we went to the West style, but anyway.
And if zombies and chickens don't do it for you, you can always go fight a shower jellyfish or a hallway ghost pirate.
Jellyfishing from SpongeBob and Pirates from Peter Pan. Continue on.
You best start believing in low-poly survival horror games, Carnby. You're in one.
Avast ye scurvy landlubber!
What?
We must fight with swords to determine our fates.
Now, there will be certain times where you are quite literally alone in the dark. That's when your lantern comes in handy, so you want to have this thing in your inventory at all times.
After defeating a living suit of armor with a statuette, you can even distract the zombies with a pot of soup. If it's made from human flesh, it'd make more sense. Oh, and apparently pouring water onto cigars makes the smoke go away.
Wow.
And if you don't cover the Indian painting with the Indian cover in the beginning of the game, the painting will throw axes at you.
Again, footage courtesy from Pro Joe. Continue on.
And then, another Indian painting shoots arrows at you. But it's
Wow.
okay because you can stop the curse with your own
What did
arrow.
it say? Hang on.
Indian painting shoots arrows at you. But it's
Yeah, you feel. What did it say?
axes at you. But even then, another Indian painting shoots arrows at you.
Oh, you feel weak. Okay, let's continue on. Anyway, you feel weak. Anyway, again, weak style Freddie Mercury from Night Away. I'm trying to be serious about here. But let's continue on.
Okay, because you can stop the curse with your own arrows. Anyway, you make your way to the library where you'll find the last person who tried the gross milkshake at McDonald's.
Grimly. And by the way, this is like a robot version of Grimly. Okay, let's continue on.
It's also home to another death trap inside the secret room. Oh, and remember what Ash mentioned earlier about reading every book? Well, maybe
It's like reading Rainbow.
inside the secret room. Oh, and remember what Ash mentioned earlier about reading every book? Well, make sure you don't read the one called Mysteries of the Worm, otherwise this happens.
Oh God. Oh, jeez. The Page Master. Okay.
Master.
And let's not forget the ballroom in which you have to make the spirits dance by placing onto the gramophone Camille
It's
Saint
like Haunted Mansion in style. Continue on.
the ballroom in which you have to make the spirits dance by placing onto the gramophone Camille Saint-Saëns' Dance Macabre.
Join me in the dance of death.
Eventually, it leads to the final area of the game, the underrealm of the mansion.
This is where things start getting downright Lovecraftian. You see, it turns out that the mansion was originally built by a man named Ezekiel Prext, who used dark magic to extend his life and amass power and riches.
Yeah.
And who then somehow got turned into a tree for his troubles along the way. Yeah, black magic is kind of a jerk like that sometimes.
Fun fact, that very Ezekiel Prext was the ghost pirate that Carby fought in the hallway beforehand. Just thought I pointed out.
Wait, hold on. So, there are two Ezekiels?
not necessarily.
In life, he was a pirate known as Isaac.
Footage courtesy from JT Maximus. So continue on. Anyway.
Ezekiels?
Not necessarily.
In life, he was a pirate known as Isaac the Bloodthirsty, captain of the ship Astarte. However, when Ezekiel, now known as Elijah Pickford, died, his servants decided to split his soul from the body, hence why he's now a tree. And right now, the soul
of Christmas tree. Okay, I was joking. Continue on.
Pickford is looking for a new host, hence why he's now a tree. And right now, the soul of Pickford is looking for a new host. First he went for Jeremy, who killed himself to keep it from happening, and now he wants Carnby, or Emily depending on whom you're playing as.
And this is why we read the notes, people. Because God knows I wouldn't have picked up on any of this just playing the game as it is.
Anyway, the final area involves a cavalcade of horror pop culture monsters. Like this graboid, some creatures from the Black Lagoon, and whatever the heck this monstrosity is.
Yeah. Oh, God! That screaming horror from Psycho movie. Continue on.
The platforming.
Whatever the heck this monstrosity is.
And then there's the platforming area, where you have to jump across pillars without falling into the water.
Oh, excuse me. I believe you mean the choosing jump from the action menu and awkwardly trying to line up between these pillars area. Yeah, prepare to fall. A lot.
Jump! 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 Everybody jump! Everybody jump!
Wow.
Segments like these are why save scumming is your friend.
And yes, falling is going to be a problem.
Yeah, okay. Terrible, I know.
Save scumming is your friend.
And yes, falling is going to be a problem. If you do fall, and trust me you will, you won't be able to use your matchbox or any cartridges for your gun because, well, they're wet. And that
Yeah, like wet. Like, oh, I'm scared!
make dealing with matchbox or any cartridges for your gun because, well, they're wet. And that's going to make dealing with monsters more annoying than it already needs to be. After venturing through a dark labyrinth, it's here where Carnby reaches the tree that holds this little Pickford. And believe it or not, this is the final boss of the game. It shoots fireballs that can damage other monsters as well as yourself. But here's how you defeat said boss. After placing the talisman onto the sacrificial altar, which stops the tree from throwing fireballs, you have to throw your lit oil lamp at the tree and watch it, as a certain maverick would say,
Burn! Burn! Burn to the ground!
and
I am Oz, the great and powerful. It's more like it. Continue on, anyway.
leave it, as a certain maverick would say,
Burn! Burn! Burn to the ground!
and leave the mansion! At your own pace. Like I said, no pressure. Eventually you escape the haunted mansion. Hooray!
Yeah, if you're happy and you know it, shout right, hooray! You can do it anyway. Wow.
As he makes his way back home, only to find that the driver is a spooky, scary skeleton.
Oh, God!
I did see a skeleton drive a cab once, so really anything goes.
Wait, is that like Goonies? What movie is it? Hang on, what's the closed caption? Okay,
Spooky, scary skeleton. I mean, I did see a skeleton drive a cab once, so really anything goes.
Okay. I've never heard this movie. Which movie is that? Continue on.
Alone in the Dark, with ending written by special guest writer R.L. Stine.
And that concludes the original version of Alone in the Dark. But we're not done yet. As I mentioned before, the game had a reimagined version released last year for modern consoles.
Wow.
Next review, I'll be using the version on another console that I haven't mentioned until now.
Wow.
If you haven't guessed yet, I'm playing the new version of Alone in the Dark for the PS5.
I never owned it yet. So that was a good thing you mentioned it. Continue on.
But how does this compare to the original game? Let's find out.
Well, well, well. What have we here?
Wow, okay.
Disclaimer, huh? Ooh, I'm really scared. No, cut the music! Not entirely. Could you play me more fitting music, please? Thank you.
Wow.
The following game you're about to see is rated M for mature. Now I'm part of a group that brings love and happiness to families young and old, and not by my scares.
Oh. Okay, that means we have to put as a warning label saying the following episode of LJPCBM will be for 17-year-olds and things like that, Ben. We'll maintain some strong language in there. Viewer discretion advised. And we'll do the beginning part of it. That's fine. I understand, okay, Boogie. Continue on.
So, if you're not keen on graphic violence or cursing of any kind, we humbly advise you to watch any of Gamer's other videos. Or since we are really close, perhaps you can get ready for Halloween night. Go trick-or-treating or even start a Halloween party.
You know, okay, but I understand. If you watch this remix, M17, Yeah, very special advice. You know, it can make more sense because I'm into these ratings, but why not? But I'm into swearing and into what do you say again?
Humbly advise you to watch on graphic violence or cursing.
Yeah, cursing, graphic violence. I'm okay with that, but if you go back to one of my past LJPCBM episodes on Bloody Zombies, the movie that Ricky Masley Cars is doing, and of course, Phil. Go check it out on YouTube. I'll upload this on Rumble anytime soon, but I did, however, upload these graphic violence and swearing type of videos on YouTube per se, because I mentioned this before on Rumble. You know, I want to mention it too, but I'll upload the video that is mentioned on Rumble, but I will mention some of the videos that are eligible to react today on OddGamer. But I'll do it on Rumble per se, viewer discretion advice on that. But anyway, enough being said, let's continue on.
Videos. Or since go trick-or-treating with that out of the way, let's enjoy the game. Now with that out of the way, let's enjoy the game.
We see that the game was published by THQ Nordic and was developed by Pieces Interactive.
Yeah, Pieces Interactive, okay. Wheel of Fortune gameplay. Okay, let's continue on.
However, due to the game failing to meet sales expectations,
Okay.
Interactive would get shut down 3 months after the game's release.
Wow. Okay. That could happen anytime. Let's continue on.
Well, that's not good now, is it?
Oh, that's not good. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Digital game, this version starts off with a frog. However, in this version...
Oh! Oh, damn! Oh, no! Things like that. Yeah! See, OddGamer had to tell us about the violence and swearing. Yeah. Good thing they didn't call me. Continue on.
Well, now that's 3 things a crocodile has consumed. Captain Hook's hand, a clock, and now this frog.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Imagine what the alarm would sound like.
It kind of reminds me of, let's say, if you're wondering, yeah, let's say, oh, man. I mean, I saw these before on Muppets, you know, and it makes sense, but like the TikTok version of, I can't remember, but what makes sense, because what makes sense if we have it on, have a PFN. I was going to mention it too. Continue on. Oh.
After a brief title card, we then see Emily Hartwood and Edward Carnby in a car as they drive their way to the Deserto mansion.
Wow.
So, your uncle. What's wrong with him?
He's possessed.
Wow.
As in the devil?
Something like that.
So in this version, we see that Emily is played by Jodie Comer, and Carnby is
Oh yeah, Jodie Comer, okay.
David Harbour, who you might know as Red Skull from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh yeah. Oh, hang on. Scroll up some more? I can't see a thing. Glow in the dark. Yeah, okay. And what's the thing again? Legacy, okay. Glow in the dark trilogy. 2024. Makes sense. Video game. Casting, crew, yeah. It was nominated for a thing in March 2025. Makes sense. But it was mixed reviews and an average of mixed critics. But it was a 31 out of 40. Okay, let's just go ahead and see what's going on. But he did on PS5, but PC Raptors a closure. Yeah, I talked about this on LGS before. Where is that? Come on. Oh, Joy Core. Okay. Oh, wow. She did Killing Eve. Okay. But she also did... Oh, yeah, spoiler on Star Wars. I've never seen Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker before. No, I haven't watched it yet. 28 Years Later, which I've never watched, which came out this year. And, of course, Free Guy. was okay, and I never watched it before. But anyway, but she also did the following. But anyway, move on. Move on to the another actor he mentioned, David Harbour. Oh wow, he's separated in 2025. Wow. Phil, his wife. Wow. Anyway, he did great movies, by the way. He did come out with Go in 2026, but he also did Violent Night 2 in 2026 with another movie coming out in 2026, Avengers Doomsday. That's a good movie. I never seen Avengers Endgame, which is a surprising good movie, but I never heard of it. But anyway, Suicide Squad in 2016, one of the worst years of my life, and some good movies, you know. And of course, he did The Simpsons in 2020, an episode called Undercover Butt Burns, is the voice of Fred Kennebrough, and so many others. But, you know, there's so much more to talk about him. You know, let's continue on. There's a lot to talk about. Anyway, let's continue on. Anyway.
Alright. Performance-wise, they're alright. You then choose to play as either Emily or Carnby. As your chosen character starts searching in the basement, the other starts his or her search at the front door. So yes, this game has you start in the basement. But hey, you can still look for items, books, and notes and whatnot.
There's a Bible, okay. Mm-hmm.
We get a small flashlight to see in dark areas instead of the oil lamp.
There are also hidden items to find in the game called lanyards. And
rat poison, okay. If you want just that, but rest in peace to you, God rest in soul, but you do not like rats, especially one of the dogs, which I'm not going to say his name, but he did not like rats at all. But that's just me. Let's continue on.
Collection of them may unlock top secret information about the mansion, or sometimes even more weapons like a shotgun. There are times where you'll have to be playing as the other character in order to actually finish a collection, and the fourth chapter of the story also differs quite a bit depending on who you're playing as. So in order to really get the full experience in this version, you actually do have to play as both Emily and Carnby.
Thank goodness you don't have to do that in the original game.
Yeah.
Planet Cthulhu is nowhere in this game. Instead, we have someone called the Dark Man. Doesn't sound as threatening as Cthulhu, but okay.
Yeah, that'll be great. Mm-hmm.
Worry, there are gonna be plenty of tongue-twisting Elder God names.
As to the gameplay, well, it plays similar to the modern Resident Evil games, which is ironic because Resident Evil was heavily inspired by the original Alone in the Dark. Use the left control stick to control your movement, while the right analog stick lets you control your point of view. Also, pushing the left control stick lets you run, which you'll be doing for most of the game. In addition, pressing X lets you examine or pick up any nearby items. And by holding L1, you can further examine your environment as well as any interaction points by means of a white line circle.
Honestly, this feature is a freaking godsend. It certainly makes looking for stuff you missed the first time or finding hidden ammo a lot easier.
Anyway,
it would be. Yeah, continue on.
And mentioned in the original game, is now a mental institution where Jeremy Harwood was committed because of his growing suspicion that he is being followed by the Dark Man and has since disappeared.
The Dark Man, huh? I think that's one of the nicknames for Nyarlathotep.
Bless you?
What? No,
Not you. What did I say? No, flip. Yeah, non-flip. Told you. Continue on.
The creature from the poem of the same name written by Lovecraft. Some Cthulhu stories call him the Dark Man.
Yeah.
Look, Lovecraft came up with more than one god, okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Federal Edition. Continue on.
Currently dead like in the original game? Well, we don't know that yet. In addition to exploring the mansion, you have to solve certain puzzles in order to progress through the game.
I like to solve the puzzle. This tree. That's it. Continue on, anyway.
Sometimes you have to find missing pieces in order to complete said puzzles. Some of which include rotating and placing enemies in its place, and others include unlocking a safe and solving talisman clues. But the main thing about the reimagined version is that both Emily and Carnby can even explore other worlds based on Jeremy's memories. It's also here where you can defeat enemies like mummified zombies or creatures that...
I see what's going... Oh, if you watch this, gun violence for you. He did, seeing the... If we do like... We did reaction time on Grand Theft Auto 6 at one stage. He thought it was hilarious. The one he talked about, and then I thought... And the point he said... that one person said the N-word, that was unacceptable right there. I mean, one spraycaster said the N-word, that was Xavier. And I thought, wow. Rogers, he was a Canadian spraycaster. I'm like, this is for you, Xavier. I follow that, but so the rest of you, I don't know. But that's just me. Let's continue on.
Actually looks scarier than the enemies in the original version. You can defeat them with either a gun or a melee item like an aura or a pipe.
Wow.
However, my favorite weapon to use is a machine gun. It's always fun to rapid fire on enemies. However, there's only one way you can heal yourself in this version. By pressing up on the control pad, you can have Emily or Carnby take a drink from their flask to replenish some health.
Good old reliable alcoholism saves the day yet again. Man, this really is the 1930s.
And it was like a 1930s type of movies from nowadays type of movies. The 90s movies were different these days, like gun violence and other things like that. I talk about this in my reaction videos in the past. Like for example, if you go back to one of my reaction videos too, I don't remember the name now, but it kind of makes sense. But let's say Patriot, let's say a board jokes episode on Jaws per se. It had one line saying, fire so that, bah, and it just exploded like that. One of my favorite scenes in the movie. The other part about Jaws, I don't remember. I've never haven't done a board jokes episode on a thrill movie ever. So that was my first time doing this, So I'm doing this. I'm gonna do this again. Like this time, not doing. Well, we're doing another thriller movie. Per se. But anyway, I'm still gonna do Weed Wednesdays and Switch Sides and other things. But if it was for M-rated, I don't know. We're doing our Rumble for the Switch of things per se. But for gameplay such as Price is Right and other things. Yeah, that'll go on YouTube, but for Rumble, I think gun violence will stay on Rumble. I have to do a reaction, except for reactions by OddGamer, and in the future, Fiction Edition, if it's alright with him, but that's just me. But of course, too, that I have to do something, but that's just me. Let's continue on.
Yes, this game has a health meter.
Oh, wow!
And you're dead.
What did you say?
Yes, this game has a health meter. Lose all your health and you're dead.
Wow. Just wow.
You can't save your game manually. This version also lets you autosave, which is amazing. Now, about these memory worlds that I mentioned, some of which include the French quarters where you run into Baptiste, who I guess runs a shop called Johnny the Conqueror, the Hateful Mount by an oil rig where you first encounter...
Yeah! Told you! Spider webs! Yup. Yeah, I told you this alert will happen.
I don't know!
Told you!
I'm too scared to look!
Yup. It's one of those creepy warhogs to the spiders I've ever seen in history. It's like when Dad Butt told me, and he would have told me about this, and his eyes thinking, I don't know what he said, but he told me horror movies did not scare you, but he would just do as a jump scare me. If it was for Lucas at that point, I'll be pretend him. Continue on. Oh wait, that's not a spider. That's a four-legged man with tux in his head. Let's continue on. Wow. Well, that was close.
Giant monstrosity was a...
Wow.
This giant monstrosity was a swamp creature. It will forever be indulged within my nightmares. But she also finds Mrs. Marcus, another Deserto patient. In addition, there's the chapel where you have to find a trio of medallions, and it's also here where you first see Jeremy. Oh, and this
what is this?
Chapel where you have to find a trio of medallions, and it's also here where you first see Jeremy.
Yeah, that too. Cause, that in the castle. Yeah, let's continue on.
Oh, and this guy shows up. I don't know who he is, but he looks like the Phantom of the Opera had he been an Egyptian pharaoh.
Yeah, Bob Shore review mentioned by Lucas Bradley. And, that's just me. Let's continue on.
Like the one from Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Oh, wow. Okay. That American Idol difference. Continue on.
Also, solving a constellation puzzle will have the talisman automatically set the code to said number. As a result, it will grant you access to the convent of Torola. Chapter 3 starts with a meeting with Juan at the Courtyard Center, which then leads to a visit to the library. So in the library, hopefully not infested by poison ivy, you have to grab a cross from the statue's socket. And it's here where we find out that the guy we previously saw with Jeremy was the Dark Man. Anyway, getting in close contact with the Dark Man will lead to instant death.
And wow. Just wow. Again, like I said before in this reaction, but this is creepy. Continue on.
Anyway, getting in close contact with the Dark Man will lead to instant death.
And don't try to shoot him.
Exactly.
Like, take my word on this. Just don't.
Turns out he's actually right. Exactly. Thank you. If you try to shoot the Dark Man, he will then get to your head and make your nightmares come true. Exactly. Thank you. First courtesy of Ben God. Yeah, on YouTube. Thank you. Continue on. Oh, man.
So in order to avoid this, you have to perfect the Joestar family's secret technique.
Wow.
While placing the cross in each pillar and then reach the elevator to escape the Dark Man. After a brief conversation with June, you then teleport to Gallatin Street as you're now tasked to find the address to the Dark Man's show. Along the way, you venture through the New Orleans docks and into the warehouse where you then find a new weapon.
A Tommy gun!
Like, for example, the Weevil Weapon 1, 2, 3, and 4. Continue on.
And into the warehouse where you then find a new weapon.
A Tommy gun!
Like I mentioned before, this is the best weapon in the game. After finding a very lit building...
Wait, what's that?
Like I mentioned before, this is the best weapon.
Gangster, okay. Yeah, Gangster Paradise. Continue on.
After finding a very lit building, you then run to Jeremy again in the showroom as he tells Emily about his history with the Dark Man.
The Dark Man has been with me since I was 12 years old.
Wow.
He was standing right on that stage right over there.
Wow.
For a brief moment, his gaze held mine. And that was it.
Wow.
I recognized him for what he was. The heart with ghosts embodied in flesh. I thought it was my turn. But I was only there to be mocked.
Wow.
Instead, his attention moved on to my father sitting next to me.
Wow.
I turned to him and saw his face. The whitest shade of pale I've ever seen.
Wow.
He bit off his tongue that night and suffocated.
Oh, and the voice of Jeremy in this game? The same guy that voiced Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil 4.
Oh, wow. 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 Okay. Continue on.
Actually pretty cool. So Jeremy mentions a written contract currently buried inside his sunken temple, and that's where we head off to next. By entering the sarcophagus, you are then transported to abandoned...
Losing my mind on this trouble yard thing. Continue on.
Dunes.
And what are they like, you may ask? Well, no...
Wow.
Hey dude, sorry to interrupt.
Wow.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Oh, do forgive me, dude. The name's OddGamer, but you can call me Hux.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, hi Hux. Now, what were you saying before we got interrupted?
Well, as I was saying, in the...
Hold up, I know what you're gonna say. In the words of Anakin Skywalker...
It's coarse.
Wow.
Irritating.
And it gets everywhere.
Yeah, for example, if I see that line again, yeah, I hurry straight to God, I don't know what to do. From that whole entire scene, yeah, from the review of, Usher Respect review of, Star Wars Episode 2. That was better. Continue on.
See. Anyway, hey Hux, what's going on?
Nothing much, dude. Though I wouldn't trust the sand dunes if I were you.
Hux, come on! Cause I was in my 30s now, you know, as I'm taping this episode of LJPCBM, but you know, it kinda makes sense when it comes to the whole I won't be doing this about you, but oh the dark, it's Halloween! Continue on. Oh, hold on, come right back, stand by. Okay, I'm back, folks. Sorry about that. I had to check my math around here, my gigabyte style, and then move on from there. Anyway, let's get back to the episode right now, so shall we? So we got for us. Resuming in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Trust me, I thought it was a beach at first. Only not find any water or waves nearby.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks, Hux.
No problem. Anyway, I should go back to play RoboStar from my phone. That's another game for Pieces Entertainment, by the way.
Wow.
Later, dudes!
Wow.
And not to bring up another running gag, but upon entering the old temple, you then encounter another enemy in the game, bats.
Bat! Batman, anyway, continue on.
At least I thought they were at first. But anyway, all you have to do is solve these lens and light puzzles in order to reveal the Dark Man's contract, as well as grabbing a sacrificial sword. Like I said before, Chapter 4 can differ depending on who you're playing as, and dives a bit more into the individual backstories.
When you're playing as Conby, you get
First courtesy of Ash Plays, continue on.
And dives a bit more into the individual backstories.
When you're playing as Conby, you get to step into his memories of some real crime noir shenanigans he got into before the events of the game. It turns out that right as Conby was hitting rock bottom with alcoholism, debt, and depression, he was hired by a woman named Gabriella Saunders to find a valuable stolen painting as well as her daughter, who, if you've been paying attention to the surnames, is actually Grace Saunders, the little girl you've met several times in the been paying a woman named Gabriella Saunders to find a valuable stolen painting as well as her daughter, who, if you've been paying attention to the surnames, is actually Grace Saunders, the little girl you've met several times in the Dorsetto Mental Institute throughout the game. The culprit turned out to be Grace's father, Theodore, who Conby eventually rammed into a lake and left to drown in order to save Grace.
Wow.
He then returned Grace to her mother, but that's when he found out a few shocking truths. Gabriella was an abusive mom, and Theodore was actually trying to save Grace from her, intending to sell the painting he stole to finance their escape. This whole ordeal was so messed up that Conby actually repressed all these memories, right until the moment he just so happened to run into Grace at Dorsetto 2 years later.
Yeah, I was lost memories right now. It's like, oh my god, we lost it! Continue on.
No wonder my man likes to drink every now and then.
But as for Emily, she has to put together Jeremy's MRI scan brain. However, accident leads to another anomaly that sees her set to flooding. And somehow she finds herself in the attic. Hey!
Wow, speaking of which, yeah, Brain Modifiers 2012 difference. Now, go back one.
Another anomaly that sees her set to flooding. And somehow...
Flood of 97. Continue on.
Find yourself in the attic. Hey, that's where you start in the original game.
Wow.
There is a hidden cutscene in which Jeremy tries to...
First courtesy of Banga. Continue on.
Up in the attic. Hey, that's where you start in the original game. There is a hidden cutscene in which Jeremy tries to hang himself like he did in the original game, but he decides not to. Huh? And now she's in a steamboat. Hopefully a mouse named Willie is nowhere to be found here.
Mickey Mouse. Wow.
No? Well, that's good. Anyway, turn on the boat engine and back to the center you go. She then discovers a war photo, which then gets her in the trenches of France during World War I. It's here where she once again finds the bane of my existence, I mean the swamp creature. Quick! Prevent the Joestar family secret technique! Crap! A dead end! Oh no! It's gonna kill me!
Wow. Oh! Oh God! Yeah, continue on. Give her the death! Wow. It's kind of like a horror movie style. Wow. Yeez. That kind of creature.
Phew. Good news is she's still alive. Bad news, she finds his fiancé as a living freeze frame from the explosion impact. It's dark, yes, but it looks pretty cool. Anyway, after Emily escapes the morgue, she then reunites with Carnby at
I bury him? So one sec.
It looks pretty cool. Anyway, after Emily escapes the
I bury him. Continue anyway.
She then reunites with Carnby at the apartment of Dr. Gray. Upon entering Dr. Gray's apartment, the game now decides to pay homage.
Pass the present, go back.
The apartment of Dr. Gray. Upon entering Dr. Gray's apartment,
the pass and the present. Let's continue on.
The game now decides to pay homage to the original game by having fixed cameras. Thankfully, it controls better than the original game by far. And another homage to the original game, placing a false book on the shelf to open a secret room. After solving one final talisman puzzle, you then enter the Arctic tundra through the closet in Gray's bedroom. In the Arctic, you'll find an ice pick and a flare gun, which you have to use in order to find random flags throughout this heavy blizzard. Eventually, you find the Aurora Borealis.
Aurora Borealis! At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with this Simpson right here. From, that type of Simpson from The Simpsons. Continue on.
Oh? This is where you find Jacob Von...
What do you mean, no? What do you mean, no? From Hotel Mario? Continue on.
Localized entirely within your kitchen. No.
This is where you find Jacob Von Ostate, the author of Terra Incognita from the original game. Your task is simple. Kill him in every single way possible. And because Jacob's attacks can cause a hefty amount of damage, it's best to dodge his attacks if possible. Eventually you defeat Jacob, but it's not done yet. After solving another puzzle, you then have to fight Jacob again. Only this time you have to avoid his mutated tentacles as you try to shoot him down enough times and then stab him with a dagger. So 2 more times, the last one to the eye, and you'll finally beat Jacob once and for all. After falling through every discovered world in the game, you then find out...
Oh, God! Oh, wow. Yeah, I told you the graphics and custody was there, but... Creepy! Continue on.
What?
Yeah, that too! Yeah, exactly.
Emily stabbed her own uncle in the eye? Has she gone mad or completely insane?
I mean, yeah, probably. The great old ones love to do that to people. This then leads to another confrontation with the Dark Man. And this is where we find out the real reason why...
Okay, I don't understand what she's saying.
I mean, yeah, probably. The great old ones love to do that to people. This then leads to another confrontation with the Dark Man. And this is where we find out the real reason why he's been chasing Emily. Or Carnby, depending on who you're playing as.
Yeah. You're in my head now. In that case, I hope you enjoy your stay.
Oh, God.
Don't worry. We got you.
Yeah, this is creepy as... I have to say, creepy as hell right now. You know, it's... How to say it? It's scary, you know?
This leads to Chapter 5, the final chapter of the game. After being fully awakened in the conservatory, you can then talk to everyone as much as you like to. It's completely optional, but it's nice to have more context, you know? However, the game will continue if you choose to wait for the other playable character after approaching the fountain. So the inhabitants are set to perform a ritual in the courtyard.
Oh, there are praises in abundance to the black goat of the woods. Hear us, mother. Take pity on us.
But thankfully the sacrifice ritual gets interrupted as the other playable character sets the tree on fire, like in the original game. But
yeah, like Trio's boyfriend. Continue on.
The tree spirit is alive! So
oh, no! Okay.
You way to the mansion's rooftop, and it's here where you fight the final boss of the game, the Black Goat of the Woods.
Creepy.
Niggurath.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that joke again. Shoot Niggurath is a being introduced in the Lovecraft story Whisper in the Darkness, and is also sometimes referred to as the Black Goat with 1,000 Young. Yeah, clearly someone on the writing team really likes their Cthulhu.
This boss fight was absolutely frustrating, but not really surprising knowing what it is. Even on the game's easy difficulty, it's still challenging. In order to put damage on this demonic creature, you have to shoot at these small ulcers that appear on its head while avoiding the creature's tentacle smash attack. And before I move on, there's actually something I forgot to mention very early on. While you can't aim your gun for position, I must ask, why does this game not have a target lock feature? Wouldn't it hurt you to add in a reticle or something? Honestly, I'm trying to fire at these ulcers, but the game acts like I didn't hit anything.
It's act like a jerk, somehow.
Honestly, I'm trying to fire at these ulcers, but the game acts like I didn't hit anything. Why? Why?
Oh, thank God. I thought I was the only one who had trouble with this. I feel so validated.
Thankfully, you can refill your firearms and your health replenish drinks, which is essential to beating this devilish goat. After dealing enough damage, the floor will then collapse. But now you have to avoid his tentacle stomp attack while once again shooting more of these ulcers. Okay, well try doing that while more enemies spawn out of the creature's body. Whenever that happens, focus on the monsters before you continue shooting the ulcers. And also, why isn't there a boss meter for the black goat?
Yeah, it was even more creepier.
Boss might have a meter, so why couldn't this? Wouldn't it hurt to add in another one? So basically, you have to keep shooting more of these ulcers until the game says you're done. That alone makes it even more frustrating than it needs to be.
You do eventually manage to defeat the Black Goat in the woods, and the mansion begins to crumble to a burning crisp. And that's when Emily finds Jeremy still alive.
Everything is out of order. This isn't the way the story goes. I shouldn't be alive.
Yeah, weren't you supposed to be dead the whole time?
No, I don't think he was ever dead in this game. I think it's supposed to be a reference to the original. Like the story's getting meta on us, and both games take place in their own version of reality with their own series of events. Kind of like that old Lovecraft mythos theory that reality only exists as part of the Great Old One's dreams, with the writers of the games being the Great Old Ones and each individual game being
Wait. These games? Alone in the Dark, yeah, that makes sense. Alone in the Jack in the Dark, Jack in the Box, Tropical Weasel. Alone in the Dark 2, wait, what? Alone in the Dark PlayStation, Alone in the Dark Emulation, yeah, Alone in the Dark. Let's see one.
But that's just my theory.
But yeah, the game ends with a shot of a now burning mansion.
Wow.
Well, that was pretty interesting to say the least. Anyway.
Hey, by the way, did you know this game has secret endings?
Wait, what?
Yeah, apparently this game has secret endings, which requires you to perform specific actions as well as completing specific sets of land naps. But it is nice to have some replay value that way. Heck, one of them has a downright joke ending.
Did you
Yeah, exactly. It's creepier to think about it, but say like the least part about it, you know, it's like a horror movie, thriller, you know.
Sweetie, there should have been a hedge maze.
A hedge maze?
Wait, that's a hedge maze? What are you talking about?
Did you like it, sweetie? There should have been a hedge maze.
Yeah, that's how a hedge maze. Wait, what is that? What kind of game is that? Continue on.
Hedge maze?
Like pirates. That would have been.
Yeah, that's how a pirate. Okay, whatever. Okay.
I understood that reference.
So after playing
Okay.
both versions of Alone in the Dark, what's my overall opinion on both games? Personally, I think the original version held up more than the reimagined version.
I would say yes and no, but you go ahead first. Let me hear what you think.
Okay.
The original Alone in the Dark, while clunky nowadays, still holds up in my personal opinion. And yeah, I know that we're spoiled by the likes of Resident Evil or Silent Hill, but despite all of this, none of these games would have existed without the original Alone in the Dark. It is a part of gaming history, and for good reason. Whether it's on a computer or a console like the 3DO, the overall game is pretty good. And I feel like once you play the game enough times, I think you'll have a better understanding of what to do. As for the recent version, well, what can I say about it? I mean, it looks better than the original, and heck, I think the overall gameplay is better than the original. Slightly. My only gripe about this version is the overall plot and how it's handled. With the original version, I can easily understand the plot and I know what the overall objective is. I thought the plot in the reimagined version is all over the place, which makes it more difficult to understand. I also get they were trying to add in some Easter eggs from the original game. I mean, for the most part, the Easter eggs they put in are actually pretty clever. I'm glad the developers put their heart and soul into this version. I just think it wasn't executed very well. As for the music, I still think the original game has more memorable music tracks than the new version. I definitely enjoy the fighting music and the music that plays whenever you encounter an enemy. Those really stand out to me a lot.
Okay, yeah, those are fair points, and I do agree with most of them, but let me just add something.
Yes, it is true that the original Alone in the Dark walked so the more well-known games of today could run, and that deserves attention and recognition for sure. But being the first of something is not equal to being the best at something. Alone in the Dark was revolutionary, and it does still hold up as a piece of gaming history, and even does have some legitimately creepy vibes in places. I won't argue with that. But let's not pretend that certain parts of the gameplay and the graphics aren't super archaic, or that the game was ever particularly intuitive. Not back then, and certainly not now. You can really tell that people were still figuring out this whole 3D games thing at the time. And aside from the technical aspects, the original Alone in the Dark just feels unfocused to me. I mean, one moment you're fighting a bathtub monster, the next you're fighting...
It's a cookie monster, to continue on.
Unfocused to me. I mean, one moment you're fighting a bathtub monster, the next you're fighting armors and pirates, all the zombies are green and wear ragged clothes. It just gets kind of Saturday morning Scooby-Doo-ish at times.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo. Yeah, reference from Bob's review of Scooby-Doo meets Batman. Continue on.
It's kind of like that old AVGN joke.
They should have just called the game Boo, Haunted House.
Oh my god, continue on.
There's almost no theme to anything in the first game, and this is a continuing trend in the rest of the series. First game, Haunted Mansion. Second game, Gangsters and Pirates.
Gangster Paradise, continue on.
In Wild West and Voodoo. New Nightmare? Well, sure, we're back to the Haunted Mansions, but now we're also just circling around and trying to copy Resident Evil, and the 2008 game is way too busy being edgy to even bother trying to be scary.
I think the reason that Alone in the Dark never became a big franchise the way that, say, Resident Evil or Silent Hill did, is because it lacks a bit of identity. I mean, think about it. Resident Evil has the action and the bioweapons. Silent Hill has the rusty overworlds and the symbolic monsters. Fatal Frame has the ghosts and the traditional Japanese setting. But Alone in the Dark has very, very little going for it that's truly unique to itself. I mean, it takes place in the 30s, there are some vague Lovecraft references, and the main character is usually named Carnby. And that's about it.
So yes, I think you're right when you say that the new game gets a little bit too similar to modern Resident Evil in terms of gameplay.
It kind of makes sense, because, you know, this horror franchise, when it comes to creepiness, it's just spooky, you know? I mean, Oogie Boogie was right. If you don't get to the point of graphic violence and swearing, go on something else. Yeah, I agree with that. That would be viewer discretion advice and fake for LJPCBM. That too could happen. But, you know, it's just creepy. Continue on.
At least takes the few things that actually do define Alone in the Dark as a franchise and puts them front and center. The way that the story gets a bit surreal at times really feels well in line with the Lovecraft influences to me. And it even ties everything together with the voodoo aspects of later games.
Oh god! Yeah, that too was part of the LJPCBM spirit, but that's suicide.
Plus, every character's dialogue has this distinct 1930s flair to it that I can't help but love. So if you ask me, Alone in the Dark 2024 actually nails a lot of things when it comes to presentation. It's just a bit of a shame that, yet again, an Alone in the Dark game has become a little bit too similar to the things the series inspired in the first place.
You should absolutely play the original Alone in the Dark if you like survival horror and you're curious about the genre's history. And, you know, there's still parts of it that are pretty dang great. But while the story in the new game isn't exactly perfect by any means, I do think they did a very, very good job reimagining it and using what they had handy to create a really cool narrative. So, I don't know, agree to disagree on the plot, I guess.
And with that, we finally managed to review both the old and new versions of Alone in the Dark. Except the 2008 version, that is. But let us know in the...
Yeah, I'd love to see you get the review of the 2008 version. Continue on.
Which of the games you prefer. And thanks, Ash, for helping me out.
You're welcome, gamer.
I'm the Scary OddGamer, and our fun has just begun. We still got one more game to cover on Halloween night.
Oh, wait a minute. It is Halloween night. Well, darn it.
In the meantime, I wish you all good luck for the rest of your day or night, wherever you are. Take care, everyone.
The end. Okay.
Well, I hope you took my disclaimer into consideration.
Which, by the way, I did follow your advice. Thanks, Oogie Boogie. Continue on.
Now, here's another thing to consider. Supporting the gamer either on Patreon or YouTube, like Luke Jeffers,
Thank you.
Scarlet the Hedgehog, Johnny Gallagher, and Big Money 2112. I like that name, by the way.
So that was Very Odd Gamer episode 93. Oh, regard Jonathan. Oh, that's his name. Okay. Barrow's Pigeon edition. Okay, makes sense. Anyway, so that was Very Odd Gamer episode number 93. Alone in the Dark. It was good, but overall it was amazing. So far this video was a success. And that was LJPCBM episode 1775. The Halloween episode edition for LJPCBM. Hope you enjoy it. Today there's going to be a brand new episode of LJPCBM episode 1736. I don't know what we're going to do as of yet, but we'll figure it out to yourselves. Till next time, so just my baby, what LJPCBM from Silsay out. See ya!
Given unto me this life I'll never take for granted, and given all the time I failed to really understand it, I never sought to meet the maker of reality, the one who gave the life that which is always happening, but I tried all the time. Why was I the one to see things as I do under the moonlight and the sun? Perception is the question and the giver holds the key, but the only worth I've ever found was in melody. I still try all the time.